Peace, family. This is Tariq. Welcome back again for another day, another episode of Knowledge Corner. All right, today's insight. God made you unique. God made you unique. I got this from the song Tell Me by Omar. Omar is considered the godfather of neo soul music. He is from England. He's been making music since the early to late 80s or 90s. This is off of his 2001 album entitled Best by Far. Um, the reason why I didn't give the actual release date but the year is because there's different versions of the Best by Far album. Um, there is a UK version that has a song featuring Erykah Badu on it. Erykah loves Omar. Omar is one of her favorite artists, and she considers him one of, if not the godfather of neo soul. Um, he wanted to make a video for the song they had, which is called Be Thankful. But unfortunately, um, her label would not release her to be in the video. So Omar had to redo the song with the late, great Angie Stone. So Angie is on the US version of the album. And depending on where you live, you're going to get both versions of the same song, which is Be Thankful. But the song that I want to focus on, that my message is coming from, is the song Tell Me. I've always loved the song, but there was always one part, as always, of the song that resonated with me. And when he says, "Can I talk for a little while about your unique style?" God made us in his image because we are his children, but God made each and every one of us unique. And when I think of that, I think of my children. I have three. I have a son and two daughters. My daughters are 2 years apart in age. A lot of people think they're twins, but they're not. They're actually 2 years apart. When I look at them, I see myself in them because a lot of their mannerisms and the things they do remind me of things that I did when I was little, even though they're little girls. But even still, they're both unique in their own ways. You know, my oldest daughter is a lot like me. She loves history. She loves to, you know, find new things. But her uniqueness is she's very quiet. She's very reserved. You know, that's her thing. You know, that's what she does. My youngest daughter is, I don't want to necessarily call her the life of the party. But, you know, she is very, very, you know, personable. She loves to play. And, you know, she's only 10, you know, and just being able to watch her just sit outside, you know, in the yard and just play, you know, that's her uniqueness. For me, you know, she loves, you know, sports and things of that nature. She's in love with Steph Curry right now. I don't know where that came from, but she loves Steph. Shout out to him. You know, but we're all unique. And when you look at us being God's children, God made each and every one of us the same, but in a way, he made each and every one of us different. You know, we all have our own, different quirks and things that make us, move and things of that nature. When I think of Psalms, Psalms chapter 139, verse 13 and 14, you made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Again, God made each and every one of us unique. Each and every one of us is unique in our own way. That's why it upsets me when I see people and they act the same way. Some people call it the hive mentality. We're all different. And I understand there may be some things that we all agree on, but for us to just focus on one thing and we all agree on that is a lot of times never happens. So for someone to have that hive mentality when it comes to certain things, that's not you using your uniqueness. Again, we all have our own minds. We're all able to think individually by ourselves and come up with thoughts by ourselves. But now we're in an age, in a day, where if you have a outside thought, you're frowned upon, that you actually think differently than someone else. I grew up, understanding that there may be things that you and I may not agree on, but we were able to sit down and actually talk about our differences and come to a mutual understanding. You can't do that these days for some reason. That's not being unique. That's everyone being the same. Imran, which translates to the family. This is the third chapter, surah of the Quran. This is the sixth verse or ayat from that book. He is who shapes you in the wombs as he pleases. There is no God but he, the exalted in might, the wise. Again, God created us, out of a single sperm cell, and he allowed us to grow and mature in our mother's wombs. God has the ability to create us any way he sees fit. He has the ability to give us the thoughts and give us a personality that's going to be different than anyone else's. Why? Because God made all of us differently. God made each and every one of us unique. So what makes you different? What makes you unique? Write that in the comments. I would love to hear that. I myself, for me, I've never felt that I fit in a lot of ways. Even when people were going left, a lot of times I was going right. Or when people were going right, I was going left. I was always kind of unique like that. And I've gotten to a point now in my life where I understand that I've always been different. Let me just say that. I'm not different. I'm unique. When someone says you're different, a lot of times for me, it's a slap in the face, because they're not trying to take the time to get to understand you as a person. They're trying to put you in a category. We're all unique in our own ways. Again, no one thinks the same. Even if we may agree on one thing, there may be things within that one thing that we agree on that we differ from. Why? Because we're unique. God made each and every one of us unique. So tell me, Omar, go listen to it. As I do with any of the songs from the Insights, I have a separate playlist on the page where you can actually listen to the actual song and see where the inspiration for the insight came from. But as always, positive energy activates constant elevation. Peace.